My name is Libby D, class of 25, and this is my presentation on Barbara Johns. Barbara Johns stands as a powerful reminder of the profound impact the youth population can make. Born on March 6, 1935 in New York City, Johns was immediately exposed to the power of activism. She was the niece of Vernon Johns, an outspoken activist who was the pastor of Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Montgomery, Alabama, just 2 years before Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. worked as head pastor. He was the figure who ignited her passion for social justice. Barbara Johns was the daughter of Violet Johns, who worked for the U.S. Navy, and Robert Johns, who ran the family farm, and she was the oldest of 5 children. Barbara Johns went to Robert Russa Moton High School in Farmville, Prince Edward County, Virginia. Unlike the high school across town that was only accessible to white children, this all-black school was overrun, overcrowded, and had extremely limited resources. With rundown facilities, the children were forced to huddle under umbrellas inside when it was raining, and were exposed to extreme cold during the winters because of a lack of heat and insulation. The school was originally built to house 180 students, but it reached a height of over 450 students by the 1950s. To accommodate for the growing populations, the all-white board of Moton High School set up tar paper walled shacks with no plumbing or insulation, just one example of the many ways in which the board completely disregarded the education and rights of black students. As she became more aware of the inequalities present at her high school, Johns became increasingly frustrated. After speaking with a teacher who dismissed her urge to make change, Johns knew she had to speak up. On April 23, 1951, when she was just a high school junior, Barbara Johns organized a student strike. The principal, M. Boyd Jones, was told that there was a report of racial problems between students at a bus station downtown. After he was away from campus, notes were passed out to all teachers, informing them to bring all classes to the auditorium and leave the students alone for a meeting. During the student assembly, Johns passionately spoke of the unjust conditions present in their school, revealing the blatant inequalities these students faced. By the end of the meeting, every single student marched out of the school, declaring that they would not return until a new building was constructed, one that offered the same opportunities and resources as the white school across town. For 2 weeks, more than 450 students protested their conditions. Johns connected with Oliver Hill and Spotswood Robinson, 2 lawyers for the NAACP, who agreed to take up the case if the students changed their argument from fighting for an equal yet still separate school to be constructed to fight for the overall desegregation of schools. Robinson and Hill filed the Dorothy E. Davis versus County School Board of Prince Edward County on May 23, 1951, on behalf of the 117 students who signed the lawsuit. This suit argued that the conditions of these students were facing were unconstitutional under the 14th Amendment, which provides all citizens with equal protection under the laws. This case was initially rejected by an all-white 3-panel judge who stated that the segregation of schools does not hurt nor harm either race. However, the suit was soon appealed to the U.S. Supreme Court and became one of the 5 cases in the Brown versus Board of Education, and was the only case initiated by student protest. In May of 1954, the Supreme Court ruled that it was unconstitutional to separate children in public schools on a basis of race. Although it was years in the making before the desegregation of schools in Virginia took place due to a campaign of massive resistance from 1959 to 1964, this case was an important milestone in the fight for the desegregation of public schools, and Barbara Johns was a key figure behind it. Johns unfortunately faced extreme threats and harassment from the KKK and was forced to move to Montgomery, Alabama to continue her education. She later received a degree in library science from Drexel University and was a librarian at Philadelphia Public Schools, continuing to use her voice to inspire black students to receive equal education. She married Reverend William Powell and raised 5 children. Barbara Johns was a pivotal figure in the fight for the desegregations of schools, demonstrating the profound impact that a 16-year-old girl can have.